So, to ask the question again, how can I help you?
I don't know that you can.
Are you really doing anything about the status of Arab women?
Yes, I am. One particular woman. But her story is tied up with everything else.
Who is that?
The princess who was executed.
Have you heard the true story?
I've heard a dozen true stories.
Tea. شكرا. شكرا.
You lived in America for some years, didn't you?
Yes, during my teens.
Did you find it difficult to come and live back here?
No, on the contrary. There, I was an Arab and a Muslim in a country that didn't understand either. I had to come back to find myself, my roots.
But how does someone like you cope with living in a fundamentalist Muslim society like this?
This isn't a Muslim country. These people pervert Islam. They use Islam. They scare people to death with their barbarous, illegal punishments. That is not the way with Islam. A woman is nobody's property in Islam. There is no veil in Islam.
Wasn't it introduced by the Turks?
Exactly. Nearly 1,000 years after the death of the Prophet. A deliberate colonial act to destroy the Arab family. Before Ottoman rule, Arab women led armies, were equal partners in marriage, until they were silenced by that veil. Yes, of course. Look, it's so important that you understand. The way they applied the law in that girl's case has nothing to do with Islam.
What do you mean?
Skimpy evidence, killing her. Do you think there were 4 witnesses? Do you think she admitted freely? That is the only way with Islam.
Are you saying that the princess wasn't properly tried?
Of course she wasn't.
Then why was she executed, publicly executed?
Because they wanted to make an example out of her.
Why?
Because she defied them. By her actions, she was saying, look at this blasphemy. Look what is being done to our women. She couldn't teach as I do. She couldn't mix with people in the streets. She had to die to make her point.
Which was what exactly?
This autocratic regime has nothing to do with Islamic thought, feeling, or ideology. Islam is democratic. There are no kings in Islam. The Quran says that the leaders must be elected by the people, and that the people have the right to criticize them.
Yes, that's the theory, not the practice.
And who's to blame for that?
What do you mean?
This regime is your responsibility. The West took over after the Turks, and you've always sided with the enemies of progress in the Arab world, because you want to control us. It was the same in Iran.
سميرة شوية شاي.
لحظة يا ماما. Christopher, these things aren't published. 1969, the Air Force attempted a coup. Not communists, not right-wing colonels, but the cream of our educated young men. The CIA tip-off, and do you know what happened? 300 officers and men were put on planes, American planes, were flown over the desert and pushed out. This regime is your responsibility.
And yours?
To bring society back to the pure, democratic spirit of Islam. The movement has already begun.
And you think that the princess was somehow involved in that struggle?
I do.
Yes. What you've given me is another version of the truth. I'm sorry to be so blunt, but I wish I had some facts.